Hello, my dear friends. My name is Harold, and welcome to the Sanctum. We shall be continuing on with the series in this particular episode or this particular video, where we shall be now talking about the planet Venus and the symbolism, astrological symbolism of the planet Venus, and what the energies of Venus can be used for in terms of improving one's own life. As later on, we'll be talking about how to use the planetary energies to incorporate them, balance them, and enhance and enrich our lives using those particular energies. So we've already spoken about the sun, we've spoken about the moon, we spoke about Mars, and now we're going to talk about Venus, the planet Venus. So of course, you can see the archetypal energy of Venus in every tradition because because Venus is the goddess of love. Okay, Venus is the goddess of love. So for that reason, it is that energy associated with all that which is Venusian in nature, right? It rules beauty, it rules attractiveness, it rules attraction, it rules luxury, right? Materiality, because of course, just like I've already mentioned in the series on the zodiac signs, each of the zodiac signs is ruled by a planet, and planet Venus rules Libra and Taurus, right? Both signs that have an association with beauty, and of course Taurus with the luxury and materiality and all of this stuff. So Venus also has this form, these sorts of qualities, and of course it's the goddess of love, so it rules love and romance and all of that sort of thing. And I mentioned that each planet is associated with a particular day, and of course Venus is associated with Friday. Now, Friday is the day of Venus. Of course, you can, a tip in terms of remembering that is Friday is Freya Day, right? Freya. Freya is the goddess of love, but in the Norse tradition. So Friday is Freya Day. Another way is if you speak French, Vendredi is Friday, and Vendredi is spelled with a V-E-N in the start. So that is, of course, like Venus, Venus, Venus. So Friday is associated with Venus, and all sorts of the works that you will do later on, the workings, the meditations, the intention setting that's associated with the planet Venus that you'll be doing later is, of course, would be done on a Friday for maximum potential and maximum effect. So Venus is the goddess of love. So you can use the archetypal energies of Venus to bring about all of those things associated with love into balance within yourself. So if one is trying to attract a particular, attract a mate or a relationship of a romantic nature, the Venusian Venus type energy is very useful. If you want to repair a relationship that where the flame has gone off or died down, or you want to get your ex back, if that's not that, although that's not recommended for your own sake, if that ended for a particular reason, you want to probably stay away, but that's something also the Venusian energies can be used for. If you want to improve your overall attractiveness and beauty, Venus is the type of energy you would use. If you want to live a life of luxury or improve the amount of luxurious experiences that you'd have in your life, Venus is the energy for that. If one has no money and would like to get some money, Venus can bring about that, because Venus is associated with currency itself, like the currency of money. So if somebody wants to grow their wealth, it's something else, it's Jupiter. But if somebody has no money and wants to get some money, Venusian energies can be used, the energies of Venus. If somebody wants to anything to do with the senses, wants to have a very sensual experience, or wants to manifest a particular luxurious experience or a dining experience, all of the that's associated with the five senses is also linked with Venus. Everything you do with art and music, all that which once again brings pleasure to the five senses, is also associated with Venus. So if you want to, so creativity is also very a Venusian energy. So if you're an artist or a musician and you want more inspiration, if you want more creativity to flow, Venus is the type of energy you'd use. Yeah. So of course the tarot card associated with Venus is the Empress card, and you can see that it is a feminine type energy, right? Because it's a receptive type energy in nature, and it can bring to you that those quality of things that I've just mentioned. Okay. So when Venus is unbalanced in an individual, it can lead to a blockage in terms of love, right? Self-love is of course another very important aspect of Venus. It can lead to a blockage of love in general, whether that's externally speaking or internally speaking. If the Venusian energy is unbalanced, it can lead to laziness, right, or lethargy, because it can also lead to gluttony. Having too much of Venus in some way can lead to gluttony. I want everything, or greed. Yeah, in that way, that's also a quality of Venus. Okay, so if to unblock this energy, you can work with the energies of Venus and form a relationship with those energies. Also, even though it's highly associated with romantic love, friendships are also something that can be brought about by working with the energies of Venus. So all of these qualities I've just mentioned is something that Venus is known to be very, very good for. So now, depending on where Venus is in your astrology chart, depending on which house in which zodiac sign it's in, it can tell you a lot more about your own love life. Okay, it can tell you a lot more about your love life. It can tell you a lot more about the types of friends you're drawn into. It can tell you more about a little bit about your love in general, your attitude towards love, your expression of love, but also that which you love in life. Okay, that which you love in life, the thing that you really enjoy doing because you love it. So oftentimes, if you want to find one's purpose, the two main things you can look at in terms of an astrological chart is where your Venus is and where your Mars is, because Mars is passion. Right? So wherever your Mars is can tell you more about where your passion is, and where Venus is will tell you that which you love doing, because it brings you pleasure. Right? Because of course Venus rules pleasure as well. Yeah. So depending on where your Venus is, it can tell you about all of those things. It can tell you about that which you find luxury in, right? The avenue in which luxury comes to you, depending on where Venus is in your chart. The sort of beauty you have. There are all sorts of beauty. There's physical beauty, there's creative beauty. I mean, let's say you're an artist and you can create beautiful things. You're a musician, you can create beautiful pieces of music. You're a writer, you can write beautiful stories. So beauty comes in many forms, or maybe even physical beauty in that way. So the type of beauty that you exude is where your Venus is or has a strong association. But of course, this can all vary, because there might be something on the other side of your chart that kind of blocks that energy in some way, or maybe Venus is well placed and that kind of increases that energy. So it's a lot more complicated than just saying, oh, your Venus is there, therefore it's this. The astrology is a very complicated system, and there's a lot that you can look at, but we're just kind of building up the basics here before we start to look more deeply on a chart per se. So we're starting with the symbolism and the type of energy that we're working with here, and learning how it's more than astrology what I'm talking about here. Astrologically, it's good to have a knowledge, but also, as I've mentioned on this channel many times, it's about the practical application on this channel. How can we take this and actually use it in our lives to make our lives better, as well as the lives of everybody else in the world, and to increase what we do as human beings, and increase our potential, so that we can give benefit to all sentient beings. So Venus, in a nutshell, is the goddess of love, materiality, beauty, music, and the arts. And by connecting to her majestic empress type energy, you can allow beauty to flow into your life. So I hope this all makes sense. Please give this video a like if you liked it, and please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you, take care, and I shall see you soon. Peace.